What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Four Score Sports, episode 47. This week, it's me, Ryan. I'm joined with Devontae Keith,
Sam dead.
Kent Lake, Nancy Powell,
That's me. Yep, that's me for the day.
and Caleb Morton.
What's up?
If you guys can't see, if you guys aren't on YouTube, Colt's using someone else's computer, and his name says Nancy, so we're gonna roll with that. Obviously, it's been a while since we've been back, so we want to get back into pretty much every NFL move that we can think of. March Madness has been going on. Baseball's back. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on that we can talk about. So you guys want to jump in with let's do our March Madness. Let's do March Madness. That's tonight. We're recording this on Saturday. So Villanova and Kansas play in a few hours. And then also Carolina and Duke, obviously. Huge rivalry. Let's give our picks for the Villanova-Kansas game just because I feel like I feel bad for all the guys on Villanova and Kansas. Like, nobody cares about them. I guarantee you half the fucking world doesn't know that Villanova's even in it. Like, you know what I mean? What y'all thinking for that?
Different. The only reason I kind of know and kept up with it was because I put Villanova to win it all. Just because, I don't know, I figured they were the most consistent out of the group. But I definitely did not expect Kansas to go this far because I didn't think they were that good to begin with.
They were a 1 seed, right?
I think so.
Interesting. What made you think they weren't going to go far? Just you haven't heard enough about them, haven't seen anything?
No, I watched them. It was just they seemed actually they did have pretty good transfers, and I didn't expect his brother's name, DeJuan Harris. I guess that's the guy with the headband. I didn't expect him to be as consistent as he was. Remy Martin had been there, so I knew he was going to be all right. But I also forgot about everybody else that plays for Kansas, like their big man and the one guy whose name I won't butcher, but it starts with a O, I believe.
Ochai Ajabi.
Yeah. But I was reading a scouting report, a recruiting report, and they were saying how he couldn't create his own shot. But when all the parts are moving, everybody's cutting, and he can cut and get the ball from dribble or whatever, then he snaps. And apparently that's what's been happening for the past few games. So, but I don't know. I think that'll be a pretty good game too. Hopefully Villanova doesn't get an upset because I need my $20 back, low-key. So,
what time does that start? Is that at 7?
6:09.
Yeah, 6:09, 6 o'clock, whatever, same shit. I hate how they label it like that. Like, I believe the Carolina Duke game starts at
8:49.
8:49, which I understand. Like, they want to say 8:45 tip off, but that's not realistic because they do national anthem, all that stuff. But I hate that. I really do. Just started at 6:10. Started at 9 o'clock. Started at 8:45. That shit's annoying. Sorry.
it's not dramatic enough.
Yeah, exactly. You
No,
know,
they gotta
that
have-
Carolina Duke game that started at 8:49. 8:49. That one game because it started that late. That's why we were.
I was kind of on the opposite side that Keith was. I had Kansas going to the national championship, actually playing Duke. So my national championship is still intact right now, and I still think that that'll happen right now. Kansas is playing out of their minds right now. I thought that they were the best team in the nation going into the tournament. I still think right now they are the best team in the nation. Ochai Ajabi, he averaged 22 points a game, and he hasn't been doing anything in the NCAA tournament. So if he can turn it on to what he's been doing in the regular season to be that first-team All-American that he was and Big 12 Player of the Year that he was during the regular season, I don't see them losing. But, I mean, guys are playing. Keith kind of said Remy Martin, he's balling off the bench. Christian Braun is balling. Justin McCormick, he's balling. He's a big man. So, I mean, they're going off. Villanova, I mean, they don't have the biggest names. I think maybe Colin Gillespie is a household name that people really know of. But Justin Moore tore his meniscus, so he's done. And that's gonna hurt them a lot because Villanova is already thin as it is. They're not a deep team, so that's already gonna hurt them. So I'm rolling with Kansas in the first game. I don't think it'll be necessarily close. I think Villanova will give them a run for their money in the first half, but I think that they'll end up running away with it.
I want to go real quick. I'm going to take Kansas purely because, again, I do think that they are a good team. From everything I'm not going to act like I've watched every Jayhawks game this year or anything, but from what I have seen in the tournament, both of their tournaments, from the small few games I watched this year, I like Kansas a lot. And also, I think it'd be really cool, potentially, if Kansas wins and UNC wins, that will give Roy Williams the absolute heart attack stroke of a lifetime. So for that pure reason, and also fuck Villanova. I know what they did to Carolina a few years ago when I was pulling for them every game. Is that fair to say? They did that one thing to Carolina that we're not going to talk about. So fuck them. But also, I would like to see a rematch between. I just don't. Okay, either team on that game can win. I don't care. Hopefully, Kansas though.
Also got to cheer for my man Bobby Pettiford. So shout out BP. Went to South Granville, so got to cheer for him. So shout out to him. That's my guy. So hopefully they win for him. Torres ACL, so he doesn't get to play. So that obviously sucks. But being like on the team, being experienced, it's obviously cool for him to like be on the team. So I'm cheering for them. Totally.
It won his foot.
Oh, it might have been his foot. I knew it was something that he had to have surgery and he was done for the year. I don't know the specifics of the injury, so you might be right about that.
Yeah, big Bull City shit. Shout out Bob.
Yeah, so shout out him. That's why I'm cheering for Kansas. But as a favorable matchup, I think everybody really cares about the Duke Carolina game, which we'll obviously talk about like here in a couple minutes. But I think if you're cheering for Duke or UNC to win the whole thing, I think from a strategic standpoint, you want Villanova to win because as a Duke fan, and I'm sure these guys that are Carolina fans, you'd rather play Villanova. Just from a talent perspective, you don't really want to go against Kansas. All four of these coaches, Krzyzewski, Williams, Bill Self, and Jay Wright, they all have Final Four teams. They all have national championships. So they're all Hubert. Yeah, Hubert Davis. My fault. But I mean, Hubert Davis even was on the
He's
assistant
been there
coach
since
on the staff. That's what I'm saying. So all of these guys have been there. They've done that. So
I like that cup, Ryan.
Oh, the Cowboys. It's got Dak.
No. I like the other one. No. The one that was facing me.
I'm gonna get my piece out
real quick. Kent, fuck you. At least my team didn't go all the way to the Super Bowl to lose.
Thanks,
Keith. I don't want to see you laughing over there. Don't start with me, Keith.
I mean,
turn this camera.
I can laugh. I mean, what?
Hell no. Don't get in on this. You don't want to.
Hey, I'm just going to talk my bit. I don't have a lot to say about college basketball. I don't keep up with it. I don't watch a lot of basketball. But I hope Kansas wins. There was a bettor at the beginning of the tournament who put like $300K on Duke and $200K on Kansas to win.
Wow.
And obviously they both win. He's sitting pretty. It's like if either of them win, he makes exactly like $1.5 million. So he just needs one of the two to win, and he has two of them in the Final Four. I hope he wins that money, although I am going to be cheering for UNC, but I hope Kansas wins. I'm going to be cheering for UNC because I got some friends that are UNC fans, and I don't really, yeah, I don't really have a lot of stake in what's in the tournament. I don't really care that much. I don't watch college basketball really.
Yeah. Obviously, I don't watch any college basketball. I haven't watched any until the tournament. As the only North Carolina fan on the podcast, I have no love for Villanova. But I hope Villanova makes it just so Carolina can get revenge for what happened a few years ago. So, give me Carolina Nova.
Woo! All right. Carolina Duke, the game that every single one of you that's listening wants to hear about. Guarantee it. So Carolina plays Duke, and for people that don't understand the complete magnitude of this, when Carolina and Duke play in any sport, pretty much, I mean any, there's there's it's rivalry week. It can be lacrosse, it can be football, it can be club hockey. It can be anything. Shout out NC State's club hockey team. They're gross. My boy Garrett's disgusting. So there's huge news, but this is obviously the first time that they've ever met in the NCAA tournament, and it's in the Final Four. before we give our takes, I want to know y'all's opinions on this. It's Coach K's last year. We all know that. It's Hubert Davis's first year. They've never played each other. I think that it's kind of sus that they're playing together the first time this year. Carolina's an 8 seed. And also, I feel like it could have been, a little manipulated after Carolina did beat Baylor, because then it was like, okay, Carolina played a fucking 15 seed to go to the Final Four. A 15 seed. Are we serious right now?
I mean, they were winning games.
Yeah, they were winning games, but you're telling me that team's going to beat Purdue? That team's going to beat Kentucky? That
Looks
team's
like
going
they
to
did.
I mean, it happens every year. There's a team that beats somebody
But
that shouldn't beat
a
somebody.
15 seed?
I mean, it happens every year. It does. It
It's-
happens every year. Last year it was who was the team? Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts was a 15 seed, and they went to the Sweet 16 last year.
They
So, I mean,
They
it
didn't go
happens
to the
every
Elite
year.
Eight, though. That's
I mean,
two
it's
more
one
games.
more
You know what
game.
I mean?
It's
I
one
mean-
more game. It's one more game.
It is what it is, but I don't think it's like for everybody who thinks like they're rigging
Two more
it so
wins.
Coach K can win in his final year, or they're doing it where he can play UNC in his last like NCAA tournament or whatever. I don't believe that at all. I thought that UNC was underseeded going into the tournament to begin with. I had them beating Baylor in my bracket. I had them beating UCLA. I just had them losing to Kentucky, but Kentucky obviously got upset. So I thought that Carolina was the favorite to come out of that region when Kentucky got upset. I think Carolina's a way better team than an 8 seed. So that's why when people see like a 2 seed against an 8 seed, like, oh, this is Duke's game to lose. I don't. That doesn't matter. I don't care if it was a 1. If Duke was a 1 seed and UNC was a 16 seed, it's gonna come down to the wire. It always does. But as far as it like being manipulated or to get more views or whatever, I don't buy into that at all. I just think that those are honestly the 2 best teams to come out of those 2 regions.
And
I don't know
also,
if I don't even know if I would go like 2 best teams, but like I mean, I don't like Colt said, I don't think it's manipulated, but like teams just win. And although I wouldn't think that UNC is probably better than Baylor, I mean, I think they showed that this year. Like, I mean, teams get beat, upsets happen all the time. Like, I mean, but my little piece on this, all I'm gonna say is I hope UNC wins. That's I'm gonna watch the game. Also, wait, hold on. Fights tonight, absolute monster card tonight. We need to talk about that later.
we'll get to that one. Don't forget. We'll get to that. I want to roll Carolina. Carolina Dukes, like kind of like Colt said, seedings don't matter regardless if Carolina should have been seeded higher, lower. They're the best in their region, whatever. Carolina Duke games don't matter. Seedings, rankings, whatever the hell you want to call it. I think we can all agree on that. But I want give me Carolina in this game. Let them ruin Coach K's not only his last game at Cameron Indoor Stadium, but his last game ever in the tournament, in the Final Four. Give me Carolina. I'm pulling hard for Carolina tonight. This game, if you've ever pulled for Carolina, if you've ever pulled for Duke, like you're tuned in and you're pulling for whichever side. You know what I mean? Like there's no, oh, I'm just watching it to watch. You're pulling for someone. It's like either America wins with the Tar Heels or we got to hope someone else can win next or on Monday. You know what I mean? So fuck Duke. Go Heels.
Well said.
Somebody quote that. Use that as a yearbook quote, someone. Fuck. What is the quote? Go Carolina, fuck Duke.
Yeah, bro. I don't know about that. I'm not rooting for anybody, but I just think Duke will win. But if you
But I'll catch you in Durham
when
tonight.
Duke first lost to Carolina, I remember that game. I was like, you know what? This is like a perfect villain story. And I know, Cole, you said like it's not manipulated or whatever, but I don't care. That shit was like a villain story to me. It's gonna be like, you know what, Coach K on his last world tour or whatever is gonna lead a game with another chip, and they're gonna make it happen. Like, I don't know. I think somehow that's gonna happen, even though it shouldn't. So hopefully, what happens is Duke wins and loses to Villanova, just like Carolina did. So, yeah, I think Duke will win either way, though.
Yeah, I guess I'll take it now. So I guess I'm kind of the lone wolf in here as the Duke fan, the sole Duke fan. I've got my Duke PJs on actually. So I'm obviously rolling
Show
with
'em.
my guys. I think that this matchup is way different than the Duke and UNC team that we saw in the first one, where Duke absolutely washed them. And then the second one too, where Carolina beat Duke at Cameron Indoor. I think this is a completely different game. Both of these teams are playing the best basketball that they played all year. Both of them are playing extremely good basketball. But I think what it boils down to is both of these teams are thin, but Carolina is a bit thinner than Duke. As a Duke fan watching the game, if I see somebody check into the game for Carolina, I am immediately getting happy. I don't care if it's DeMarco Dunn, Dontre Styles, Puff Johnson, Justin McCoy. I don't care who checks in the game. If one of the starting five of Carolina has to come out to put one of those in,
Cap,
he is
they're
getting
playing
attacked
40
on
minutes.
defense. He is not doing anything on offense. He's not doing anything. As a Duke fan, I'll give credit where credit is due. Carolina's starting five is an extremely good starting five. I think that they might have the best starting five left in the tournament, but it boils down to I don't think that they have the depth. I said that before, but at the same time, when they beat Duke in Cameron Indoor, I was looking at the box score. Armando Bacot played 32 minutes. Brady Manick played 40 minutes. RJ Davis played 40 minutes. Caleb Love played 38 minutes. And Leaky Black played 38 minutes. So if they can go out there and just not get tired for 40 minutes and play the whole game, that's another story. I think in the second half, you won't see any subs come in the game for Carolina.
Unless there's foul trouble.
Unless there's foul trouble. I think that's going to be a huge thing for Carolina. If Carolina wants a chance, then Bacot cannot get in foul trouble. If he gets in foul trouble and McCoy has to come in, I'm telling you, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get – Bacot got in foul trouble at Carolina when Duke washed him. It's going to get ugly. But I think what it boils down to is I think the biggest matchup actually is RJ Davis is playing out of his mind right now, and Jeremy Roach is playing out of his mind right now. So I think it's the point guard matchup between those two. I think that's the matchup you got to look out for. But I'm rolling with my Dukies. I think it's a close game. I don't think it's a blowout, but I think it's back and forth. But I'm rolling with my Dukies. I think Coach K's experience. I just think that it's something about this magical run that they're on right now.
Imagine if this game goes to overtime.
I won't be able to take it. I will not be able to take it.
Dude.
I won't be able to take it.
So speaking of overtime and March Madness, let's talk about the best college basketball game I think I've seen ever. Maybe the Carolina Villanova game was better than the national championship.
Absolutely amazing game. It was an absolutely
NC State versus Uconn in women's basketball, Elite Eight. So here's the story. Here's some background information. NC State's a 1 seed and Uconn's a 2 seed. Okay. And yeah, there's a G curve, geographical curve, and an S curve, which is essentially strength. And essentially you get ranked. Your seeds are ranked. All the 1 seeds are ranked 1 through 4, if you don't know. And NC State was the number 3 overall 1 seed, and Uconn, that puts them at the number 6 overall team, the number 2 overall 2 seed. So let's think about this. So NC State, yeah, we play at Reynolds, play at home the first 2 rounds, great. Then we go over to Bridgeport, we beat Notre Dame. Then we play Uconn in Bridgeport. If you don't know, Bridgeport is like 80 miles, give or take, not even maybe, from the University of Uconn. It's in Connecticut. Why is NC State playing the 2 seed in Connecticut on their home court, first off? Also, this was a phenomenal game. All the girls gave their heart. They played their hearts out. They gave everything they had. I'm so proud of all of them. The double OT game. There were a few questionable decisions from both sides throughout the whole game, a few questionable calls and no calls both ways. But it just really sucks that NC State lost. This was supposed to be their year. And they did good. This is arguably the best year they've ever had. This is probably the best team that they've ever had in team history. And it just really sucks to see them go down in double OT to Uconn, which if you think, double OT, if this crowd is a little different, everyone knows how important home field advantage is, home court advantage. And Uconn definitely had that. They showed at the beginning of the game, it was like 86% to 14% estimated by Uconn fans. And obviously Uconn women's basketball has all the bandwagons ever. Not only that, Paige was back. And of course, Paige Beckers is going to be her first unlimited game. She plays 30 minutes out of 50, which is crazy for her this year. I don't know. I'm just really proud of all the girls. Elisa played great. Obviously, we love Elisa on this show. Kai played great. Raina, KJ, the 4 seniors, they all did their thing. And everything they've done for the women's program over the last 4 years, Raina the last 2 at least, 3 ACC championships, 3 Sweet 16 appearances. That's also including 1 year that they didn't have the tournament, where arguably that team could have been potentially better back with Ace Koenig. But those girls are phenomenal. They're legends around NC State, and good for them. They did good. I'm proud of them. And now we have UConn and South Carolina in the national championship. I do think South Carolina wins this. It's been South Carolina or NC State since the first game of the year. Whoever won that game back in Reynolds in November, which was South Carolina, I was like, they're going to go to the national championship. There we are. So give me South Carolina and Aaliyah Boston over Paige Beckers and Ozzie Fudd and UConn. But yeah.
Before I give my guess, I want to offer a formal apology to Raina. The one time, well, actually, maybe the 3rd or 4th time I watched the game, and they were playing Notre Dame, and I was like, Raina is off, and she had been doing so well. I'm like, this is not where we want to get off, blah, 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 talking my shit. Then, as women often do, she rights all her wrongs and everybody else's to win the game. So I definitely fuck with Raina Perez off of that.
Hell yeah.
Excellent game. Ozzie Fudd, Paige buckets are absolute buckets, ridiculous buckets. I still think it's cap that State had to play in Bridgeport, Connecticut. But again, people will argue, oh, they played in Reynolds. Bro, whatever. It's still Bridgeport, Connecticut. It's still the only good team in Connecticut.
The top 4 seeds, if you're a 1, 2, 3, or 4, your first 2 games are at your home, venue. Every single school. Every single school. Yeah.
Yeah. So never mind. Don't talk to me. UConn women's basketball is the only good team in Connecticut. So, of course, people were going to show out for that. It was an excellent game, a way better game than I expected. Women's basketball is actually okay. The dunks and all that stuff and aggression and fights are pretty cool. But,
shit, a girl from Stanford dunked the other day on a fast break. Y'all see that?
And so, women
she just
are
casually.
I don't know what happened, where the shift happened, but yeah, women's basketball is getting to be on point. So I love that.
Bro.
But past all that, I really don't care about USC. Dawn Staley was cool back in her day. Her team was cool.
She's a great coach. I believe she coaches the national. It's crazy that 2 college coaches were the coaches of the national teams for all those years. It was Coach K and Dawn Staley, I believe, right?
Yeah. So regardless, whatever you say, Dawn Staley, wherever you talk about, Dawn Staley has been there. She's played in the Olympics. She's played in national championships. She played in the WNBA. She's coached WA. And she coached a team. She coached a good basketball team while she was playing in the WNBA. Your favorite coach can never. So, yeah, USC has it. No question. South Carolina stand up. 8-4-3, stand up, all of that.
Fuck UConn.
Go there.
Go to hell, UConn. Except Kimba. That one time you did that step back. Or the 3 times. Sorry, probably.
At what cost, though?
I feel like that's pretty much it for March Madness. Is that? Yeah. Let's transition into a little bit of NFL. We're not going to take all your time. We know this is the March Madness stuff, but NFL's got a lot of news, and anything we don't get to this week, we'll definitely hit next week. But let's talk about some of our favorite moves in the NFL. You guys see that big free agent signing the Cowboys had? Me neither. Literally, my whole life. Never seen one in my whole life.
Baby.
Hey, I don't know if you want me to, but I got a screen pulled up of every team's free agent, and I'll just read over the biggest ones if you want me to.
Our teams.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to talk about it, just say something.
Just stop me if you want to talk about it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go because there's hundreds of players, but I'll just go over the real big ones. All right, so it's in alphabetical order. So first we have the Arizona Cardinals. The biggest moves they made, they brought back Zach Ertz on a 3-year, $31 million deal. Brought back James Conner on a 3-year, $21 million deal.
Good deal.
I love. I think that's one of the better deals in free agency. Those are really the only two that I'll talk about there. Colt McCoy is now their backup. Actually, wait. Yeah, they re-signed him.
It was already.
Yeah. Atlanta Falcons is next, and it literally just like interrupt me anytime you want to say anything. Atlanta Falcons is next. Young Hoku is now on a 5-year, $24 million deal.
W.
Underpaid.
Go.
Jake Matthews is now on a 3-year, $52 million deal. Y'all got Casey Hayward for 2-year, $11 million. I mean, that's pretty cheap.
Can I say? All right, wait. So with Casey Hayward, well, before you can skip it, but we also got Lorenzo Carter, which that was the pickup I was excited about. Plus Cordero, obviously happy about him. But Casey Hayward said that AJ Terrell was the most talented.
I saw that
he had the pleasure of playing beside. And I actually had to go back because Casey Hayward is kind of old. This man played with the Packers. And I was thinking, like, he's putting AJ Terrell over prime Tremont Williams. When he went to the Chargers, he played beside Brandon Flowers, but Brandon Flowers was on his downward. So he might have been right, bro. So beware of that.
So yeah, I had a couple more. Cordarrelle Patterson, 2 years, 10.5. I think that's a really, really good deal. He can do anything. And then you got Lorenzo Carter. This list is a couple days old, I think, but it says 1 year to be determined how much.
Yeah.
And then you got Mariota, 2 years, 18.5.
Fun times.
That's pretty. I thought that was a pretty good deal. I like that. He's 27 years old. I mean, you can't complain there.
They were also talks with Demir Bird. Yeah, Demir Bird and maybe somebody else. But
yeah, you got Damian Williams as well for one.
Rashawn Evans from the Titans. I don't know what happened with that.
I don't see that one on here. It could be just the like I said. I think this is a week old, so anything then. All right, we'll just speed it up a little bit here. Baltimore Ravens. They got Marcus Williams, 5-year, $70 million. I think that's a really, really good deal.
He's good.
Morgan Rosen, 3-year, $15. Michael Pierce, 3-year, $16.5. I like that one as well. And then they did have Patrick Ricard come back as well.
A goat.
Buffalo Bills had a ton of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Daquan Jones, they brought him in. Von Miller on the most ridiculous deal in free agency, 6-year, $120 million.
They super overpaid for him.
Yeah. Cole Beasley is no longer there. Not a ton. They got Shaq Lawson and they traded for Case Keenum or
fuck him.
Panthers. Let's see. Not really a whole lot going on here for like standout players.
No, they lost Hassan Reddick. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, they lost him. Yeah, it doesn't show me who they lost. It does. It just shows me who they gained.
That's fair. I feel like there's like only a few names that I'm really looking to talk about, like Tyreek Hill, Russell Wilson.
All right. Yeah. Hold on. I'll go. All right. I'll
no offense. I don't care about Case Keenum being the backup.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. DJ Moore got extended, 3 years, $61 million. It's a big name.
Yeah.
No one on the Bears. I don't know why they lost.
They lost Tariq. Shout out to Tariq. If you're listening, be on the episode. We love you. You in the bun. So do we, bro.
And also traded Khalil Mack.
Oh, yeah. Khalil Mack's out of that bitch.
Bengals got some pretty good guys.
Y'all got some really good guys. Why don't you elaborate on that? That's a good free agency right there.
Well, look at the slow build up. You can wait.
We snagged 3 linemen: Lyle Collins, Ted Karras, Alex Kappa. That was awesome. We released the 2 guys I wanted us to release, Trey Waynes and Trey Hopkins. And that cleared up $16 million in cap.
And tagged Mr. Bates, right?
Signed Hayden Hurst and tagged Jesse Bates. And then we also BJ Hill, NC State guy. 3-year, $30 million deal. Got him back. He's gonna start this next year. Browns got Amari Cooper, released Jarvis Landry,
Deshaun.
and released Austin Hooper, and then obviously got Deshaun and franchise tag David Njoku, which that is terrible. Why are you paying David Njoku $11 million this year? That doesn't even make sense. No. Anyways,
I am very excited, I will say, for Deshaun Watson to make Amari Cooper a top 10 wide receiver again.
you said
What's
what?
going to happen?
You said what?
Deshaun Watson will make Amari Cooper a top 10 wide receiver again.
Yeah, if Deshaun Watson,
it's going to happen.
If
I'm telling
Deshaun Watson plays next year, if Deshaun Watson plays next year,
Have you guys noticed in all the betting odds that Cleveland is just like non-applicable in every single thing?
well, yeah, I mean,
I agree. I think it's fine because Deshaun Watson makes him a contender, and anyone else makes them like, are they gonna beat the Steelers out?
Yeah. Now to move to the next team, a very popular team in this podcast, the Dallas Cowboys. I'll read over all these because
I
I'm
like
sure
that
you
team.
All of them. Yeah.
Franchise tag Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, read all three of them. Yeah. Ooh, Dalton Schultz overpaid.
Dalton Schultz re-signed Michael Gallup, which I actually do like that deal.
I
He got
love
a good
that. I
deal.
love that.
He got a
I
good
love him.
deal.
You guys actually, the players you guys re-signed, I thought you guys did a really good job.
Yeah, but the players we
DeMarcus
lost hurt
Lawrence-
a lot.
We just
DeMarcus
we had to bring back Noah Brown. That was priority number one on the offseason, and we successfully did that. So I'm glad we brought back Noah Brown. That was huge. Absolutely
And Van Der
huge
Esch.
for us. And Leighton Van Der Esch, he's back.
absolutely.
I mean, I could not be happier. As Stephen Jones famously says, we like the guys that we have, and damn it, we like the guys that we have. We like homebred guys. If we don't draft them, we don't want you. Respectfully, if you did not come up with the Dallas Cowboys organization, if you spent 5 years being all-pro, and you want to come to the Dallas Cowboys on a max extension, you'll take the minimum. We don't care. We're good. We're good because we didn't draft you. So you're not homegrown. So we're good on that. But
Why do y'all think we got rid of Amari Cooper? That motherfucker came from the Raiders. We didn't want anything. We got a 5th and a 6th round pick or some bullshit.
And we gave them a 6. We just got a 5th
for
for
sure,
him.
a top 15 receiver. Fuck that, man. Fuck Jerry Jones.
It's super difficult to be a Cowboys fan.
Okay, but hey, on the upside, you got Malik Hooker back 2 years.
Oh, wow.
That's
I
fine.
did like that.
Wow.
I like that a lot.
That's
I like that a
$4
lot.
million.
We got Jerron
like that
Curse
one.
back too.
Jesus.
That's good.
He was great on the Colts.
I liked it. I like the Hooker deal. I love the Hooker deal.
I liked the deals I liked the most from y'all. The 3 years or the 3 deals I liked the Gallup, the Lawrence, and the Hooker deal were spot on for me.
Lawrence was a good one. We got him for really cheap to be as good as he is.
And I'll add on to what Caleb said, Jerron Curse. I think that we got him back at a budget. I don't think that he necessarily got the recognition that he deserves, but if you compare his stats to somebody like, we'll say Budda Baker, who is definitely a top 3 safety in the league. I mean, he had more tackles, he had more interceptions, he had more pass deflections. I don't think he had as many sacks, but Budda plays in the box. So, I mean, that's understandable. But, I mean, he's right there at it, and Budda was second-team All-Pro, and Jerron Curse wasn't a Pro Bowler. So, I mean, it's not a big name. He didn't get paid a lot, but his difference will be made on the field. And I really like the James Washington signing. I think that Pittsburgh didn't utilize him the right way. So I think that he can be like kind of another Gallup-esque player on the outside, but he can also play in the slot, which Gallup cannot. Gallup does not have any experience in the slot. So the fact that he can be that Gallup-esque player, be a big body receiver, and actually play in the slot to give CeeDee Lamb more space on the outside, I like that a lot. I do.
Was Michael Gallup and Michael Gallup went to Oklahoma State or where?
Michael Gallup went to Colorado State.
Colorado State. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
Wrong person.
DeMarco Murray and Des Bryant went to Oklahoma State.
DeMarco Murray went to Oklahoma, though.
Who went to Oklahoma? Did Des go to Oklahoma State?
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
Des
my bad,
was
my
a
bad,
Cowboy
my bad.
before he was a Cowboy.
My bad.
All right, here's what I got. Next team, Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson, DJ Jones, and Mr. Randy Gregory. Those are the big ones.
Fuck
Randy
bro.
Gregory.
Fuck him.
Yeah, that's a brutal one. Although
That
I was
guy,
hearing, I
literally-
was hearing that that he left because at last second, like you guys tried to change the deal. Not you guys, but what's your
You was talking
Jared.
about
yeah?
No.
No.
It was basically he could get some of his guaranteed money taken away if he gets fined or suspended,
Yeah.
which every player on the Cowboys has other than Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was essentially that he has to pay his fine and the Cowboys won't. Dak's the only one where the Cowboys pay the fine for him. It's just every quarterback in the NFL, I'm pretty sure the backups probably have it. If they get fined, then the team
Or the suspensions. Randy Gregory has a history of suspensions, obviously.
7
over the past, I believe, 7 years.
Because he was
about
suspended,
7.
like he was in trouble when he got drafted or some shit.
Yeah,
That's why
he
he
was
fell to the
projected to
second
be a
round.
top 5 pick, and then he got in trouble so much from
He got in the
Nebraska.
second round. He barely played his first 3 years, and then now he actually grown into his own.
So the question: when players get fined, how do they determine who pays it? Like this whole time, I really thought they just took it out there, put the players' check for that game or something.
They probably do.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what would happen. Nancy's back.
Also,
I
He's
thought he
back.
got offended. Like
also Randy Gregory's agent is from Denver. I don't think that's a coincidence at all how he just got out there, but
All right. Detroit. I'm not saying anything about anyone
Russell
else.
Wilson to Denver as well. Let's not forget that. Russell Wilson to Denver is huge. Yeah.
Big Pack. Shit.
Yeah.
Wisconsin Badger.
I have a question, and I saw this, and I thought it was super interesting since we were talking about the obviously the Broncos getting Russell Wilson. If you had to rank the offenses in the AFC West post Tyreek Hill, post Russell Wilson, post all of that, how would you rank them? And I'll tell you what my rankings are as of right now. Right now, my rankings are Chargers are first. Second, I don't know. It's tough after that because first is definitely Chargers for me. Who am I missing besides Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler?
They still got Austin Eckler.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams is on the Raiders.
I thought you were talking about as a division. Okay.
No, I'd like ranking them like in the division. In the division, the offense is ranked. I would probably go Chargers, Raiders.
No.
I'd go Raiders.
I'd go Denver.
Dog.
Raiders?
They still have Mahomes and Kelsey.
Melvin Gordon, so like they don't know who the other running back is going to be. I mean, Javonte can do it by himself, but
see, I think that we can go like this all day because Ryan has the Broncos next, but I have the Broncos last. And
I have the Broncos last as well.
That was some fuck shit. I just wanted to see the reaction. I didn't get what I wanted. So
I just don't think with Judy and Cortland Sutton that you can necessarily match up with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams,
Tim Patrick, man.
Albert Okwuegbunam as your tight end.
Tim Patrick, man.
Okay, so now if you had to rank the defenses in that division, how would you rank them?
Shit.
Chargers are first for me as well.
Not the Chiefs.
Chargers are first, and then I would probably go Broncos. And
who
then
did the Chargers get? They got Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack and JC Jackson. JC Jackson.
Yeah. I'm
Chargers.
Chargers, Denver.
Who's the defensive tackle they got?
What's his name?
What's his name?
Hold
on, I could just look on here real quick. Hold up.
You could do that. They also have Joey Bosa coming off the other edge.
Also,
Chargers
for the
defense can be good.
viewers, just because we're running at about a 45-minute runtime right this second, we're not going to get through all of the NFL players, but we'll do about half of them, give or take, and then we'll do the rest next week.
It's Sebastian Joseph Day. That was the other guy they got.
Oh, thick boy.
Yeah, they got yeah. I'm probably, dude. I'm not putting Mahomes and Kelsey any lower than 2 in that division, and they still might be 1. Is the truth, dude. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. Like the dude literally does everything. I mean, he's
the man. Facts.
I mean, I'm and plus they're gonna draft a wide receiver first round. They're gonna go watch them. They'll trade up to 10. They'll grab Garrett Wilson at 10.
That's what they did with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They drafted him just casually at the end of the first round because they needed it back.
That's the thing is the Chiefs have 2 firsts, don't they? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure they
29 and 30.
Yeah, they're gonna what they're gonna do is they're gonna straight up snag Garrett Wilson, guarantee it, and they're gonna be just as good as they were last year.
Well, where would you have them pre-draft? Because we don't know what's going to happen as of right now.
Pre-draft, I got them at 2. I'll give.
And I think that the difference between Mahomes and Carr probably puts them up that far. But I think an offense with Josh Jacobs, Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams, and Darren Waller is crazy.
Yeah, when you're talking about good offenses, please keep Josh Jacobs' name out of your mouth. That is just those two don't go hand in hand.
Wow,
damn.
He does. He gets a lot of volume, but not a lot of production.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I love him in fucking fantasy though. That motherfucker gets 20 carries a game. All it takes is one.
He just got to be healthy. When he has a good game, he has a good game.
He's on his Ezekiel Elliott shit.
Don't disrespect.
As of right now, pre-draft, who comes out of that division?
Chargers.
The Chiefs.
Two teams for sure, maybe 3. But give
me
the
be
Chargers.
2. It's gonna be 2.
Turbo.
It's gonna be 2 because it could be 3.
Is this the best division of all time? Like on paper?
I'm not going to go and say that. It might be, but I have no idea who.
I don't know.
Well, let's say hypothetically 3 teams make it. Does the Ravens miss the playoffs?
No.
Yeah.
Does the Browns miss the playoffs with Deshaun Watson?
Yep.
Yeah.
With Deshaun Watson?
Yeah. He's not going to play all season.
I can't say
Amari
that.
Cooper hasn't practiced in 2 years. That motherfucker's not going to get right.
With Deshaun Watson, I still think the Browns are the 3rd best team in that division.
I can't say that. I cannot say that.
I might put in that division. You know, we might just have to finish the free agency. I'm kind of enjoying this.
I'd put him at 2nd.
So I've got Steelers in dead last.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And in first place, I've got.
I think first is either us or Ravens.
The Ravens, and then I've got the Bengals, and then I've got Cleveland.
Oh yeah, because everybody's healthy now. The whole 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Healthy.
Running back
they brought the Ravens. The Ravens were 8-2 before Lamar got hurt last year. They bring in Marcus Williams, who's a top 10 safety in the league. They bring back Marcus Peters, who's a top 10 when healthy. He was, and you can't tell me he wasn't last year. He was not last year, but the year before that, he was a top 10 corner in the league.
Trayvon Diggs the worst.
And then you're going from Devontae Freeman and Latavius Murray to J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards.
Also, it's Lamar's contract year too.
Yeah, he's gonna ball.
MVP.
I think that this might be a hot take, but I actually have the Browns at 1 with Watson. I have him at 1.
I just
don't know how many games he's gonna play.
I think okay. So let me say this. Let me put with an asterisk. This is pre-draft, and I think if Watson plays 17 games, hypothetically, I think they're the best team in that division. I think they win the division if he plays 17 games. I think they do.
I don't hate it.
The Bengals were, and I just talked about the Ravens. I'll talk about the Bengals. The Bengals were one of the better teams in the league last year, which not a lot of people suspect or expected. And we did everything in free agency that we should have done.
Y'all had a phenomenal
offseason.
I agree.
I 100% agree.
Y'all had a great free agency.
We didn't even go out and sign a ton of guys, but I think we had a top probably.
Yeah. I think it was a good free agency. I think it was a great free agency.
Still got like money left over, like.
Yeah, we still have $30 million in cap.
Oh, did y'all bring back Hendrickson?
We've got Hendrickson on like a 5-year deal. We have everyone re-signed for like 2024.
So y'all are returning your team.
Yeah. The only 2 starters we lost were Ogunjobi and he's not even necessarily gone because the Bears didn't end up signing him because he failed his physical.
Yeah.
And there's talks that we're going to just bring him back on another 1-year deal. So the only guys we lost were Uzama, who, to be honest, that was his first season breaking 500 yards.
I think when you go to Uzama to Hurst, I don't think there's much of a drop off there, if there is one at all.
Other than locker room presence, yes, I don't think there's much of a drop off either. We lost Uzama and Ogunjobi, and we brought in Lyle Collins, Kappa, Karras, and Hurst.
You brought in a bunch of Pro Bowlers. Y'all did. The only reason I lost the Super Bowl was the line. So
I think they'll be good, but I just think the Browns were I'm not saying they were a playoff team last year, but they were in the picture fighting for a wild card up until the last 2 weeks. And you go from, what would you say Baker is, a top 25, 24, 23 quarterback to a top 5 quarterback if he plays all 17 games. You upgrade from Jarvis Landry to Amari Cooper. If Amari Cooper is healthy, we've seen what Amari Cooper can do. I just think, and then you've obviously got the best run game in the NFL. The best run game in the NFL with Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And then on defense, you've got arguably a top two edge rusher in the NFL with Myles Garrett. You've got an up-and-coming stud cornerback, Denzel Ward, who is starting to ball and really starting to come into his own.
What else do they have?
Some great news.
I can just keep on naming names, but I can at the same time I can name names for the Bengals and I can name names.
I think they're the worst defense in our division.
I think they're the worst defense in the division too, but I would say that they're a top 15 defense in the league. I would say that that's no small feat, but I think that every single defense.
You think they have the best offense in the division?
Yes, 100%. Easily the best offense in the league. I do. I mean, not in the league. I'm sorry, in that division.
I think
when you have the best run game in the NFL, and then you upgrade from a top 25 quarterback to a top 5 quarterback, and then you get an arguably top 10 to 15 receiver and add that with it, and then you don't lose anyone on the offensive line. That's the best offense in that division.
The issue what I have with what you're saying is Deshaun Watson, if he is not suspended, I will be utterly shocked.
No, and I 100% agree. That's why I'm putting an asterisk if he plays 17 games. If he plays 17 games, I have them winning the division.
Even if he plays 17 games, I just don't believe that they're. What really is the difference between Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon? What really is the difference?
Their offensive line. I'll just keep it a buck. It was their offensive line.
Okay,
Bengals got an O-line
now.
And that is 100% true. But let me reword that because I reworded it wrong, and that is my fault. Dallas Cowboys have had one of the best offensive line for years. But if you look at game film, if you look at holes, some teams that have great offensive lines don't have great scheme fits for running the ball. Joe Mixon, for example, I'm a huge Joe Mixon truther. So there's nothing you could tell me about Joe Mixon that will make me put him that much lower than Nick Chubb on the list. I think that Nick Chubb is maybe the 6th or 7th best running back in the NFL. I would put Mixon at about 10 or so, somewhere around there. So I don't think that there's a huge difference.
I think Nick and Mixon are higher than that.
I wouldn't put Nick high because I think Nick Chubb is overrated. That's my fault. That's just my opinion because I think he runs behind the offensive line. But as far as scheming, Kevin Stefanski being a run-first coach, I think that him and then Zach Taylor's going to want to air the ball out. So no matter how you put it, you can name the people on the offensive line. You can name the people who are the running back rooms and everything like that. The Browns will be a much better team running the football this year than the Cincinnati Bengals. They just will. They're the best offensive running game in the NFL. It is not close.
That's fine. So when Deshaun Watson drops back, okay?
Right.
And he's looking down the field, and Amari Cooper is playing against, some cornerback one who's absolutely ridiculous. There are guys who can lock up Amari Cooper. I mean, he is a great wide receiver, but he's not, insanely crazy, right?
Right. Great route runner. Yeah.
So when he drops back and he's looking down the field and he says, "Oh my goodness, Amari Cooper is blanketed this play. Let me throw it to Donovan Peoples-Jones or David Njoku." How do you feel about that?
David Njoku is extremely underrated. I think he's extremely underrated.
Why are you acting like
you think he's a viable wide receiver or option number 2?
I think that he's a viable starting tight end in the NFL.
But do you think he's a viable option 2?
I do not think that.
Why are you acting like Amari's the number 1 option on that offense when really it's David Njoku? I see.
I was going to say,
but I will say this. I'll say this. If I compare Amari Cooper to the cornerback ones that are in the AFC North, I'm taking Amari Cooper over any quarterback one in the AFC North. No. I'm taking him over Marlon Humphrey or Marcus Peters. I'm taking him over Chidobe or Eli Apple, and I'm taking him over who's cornerback one for the Steelers? Artie Burns?
Minka. No. Oh, that's on me.
Minka's a safety.
Yeah, that's on me.
Artie Burns?
I don't know. Listen, it's also, I believe we're also still the odds-on favorite to land Gilmore at this point. I do believe that is the case.
Oh, no, I 100% agree that after the playoff run that the Bengals have, I have no problem with the hype being around them and with the free agent acquisitions, as you said, which we'll be able to see now or later. Like, for example, for the Browns, I'm high on the Browns. Clowney is a free agent. We'll see where Clowney goes. We'll see how they draft. We'll see if they sign a viable wide receiver too, other than Rashard Higgins or Donovan Peoples-Jones. We'll see if someone else comes on or if they draft somebody. So it'll be easier to tell in the future. But I just think when you add the best run game in the NFL and you upgrade, I want at least 20 spots at quarterback. And this is a huge asterisk if he plays every game. But I'm high on Deshaun Watson. I'm taking Deshaun Watson over every quarterback in the NFL right now, not named Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers.
So let me ask you this. What about Josh Allen? You got him over Josh?
I'm taking Deshaun Watson over Josh Allen.
I don't. All right. So so now let me ask you this. What do you think about and I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but this is very interesting to me.
Not to ask you to give us the UFC card, and then we're going to end the episode. So finish your points, each of you kind of right here.
Okay. So I saw, and I want everyone to answer this or put their thoughts in. What if Deshaun Watson comes back and he's just not good anymore?
Damn.
What if that's the case?
Fuck you, Coop.
He's still got $230 million coming his way.
Exactly.
Guaranteed.
Oh, he
All
also
of
has to fall back on. So
Every damn
it
dime.
might be one of those cases where you don't even notice that he's not that good, which is probably how Carson Wentz ended up leaving Indy with a check and possibly some more other quarterbacks. I don't think
Matt Ryan.
I don't like the Browns. For one, the Browns do have a serviceable offensive line. They do have a serviceable defense, which means he can catch his breath, and they have hella serviceable running backs. So if he's bad, like, I don't know if I can support it because everything is in place for him. I mean, he has fans that'll literally fight for him now. I mean, if they don't want to fight for anything else, I don't know. All the pieces are in place. So if he's not good, I feel like might be one of those cases where it might be hard to notice until it's a winnable game and he doesn't win. They just go back to Tyrod Taylor Browns or something. I don't know.
I think he's in a very similar situation that Dak was in. Like a lot of people said, like anybody can be good in that Cowboys offense when Zeke was humming and all the receivers were so good. Like a lot of quarterbacks could be good on the Browns team. Let's be honest.
Like the Bengals last year, their playoff run, there's 10 to 12 quarterbacks that could have done the same things Joe Burrow did. No offense.
I don't know about that one.
Whoop his
All
ass.
right, let me ask you this before we go to the UFC card. Let's just say
Wow,
right
he
now.
threw one
let's just say-
interception and no touchdowns. I can do that.
let's just say as of right now, let's say the Bengals win the North. Let's say that the Bills win the East. Let's say the Titans win the South, and let's say the Chargers win the West. Let's just hypothetically speak.
It's fine.
Does the Chiefs make the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does the Raiders make the playoffs?
No.
Yes.
Does the Broncos make the playoffs?
No.
No.
Does the Colts make the playoff with Matt Ryan, with Jonathan Taylor, and that run game and that defense?
I have the Colts
Possible.
winning that division.
I'm waiting for you to ask me
Maybe
about the
Colts could win the
Jaguars.
Do the Dolphins make the playoffs?
There's
No.
too many teams in the AFC. I don't think they
Here's
do.
the
Do the
thing.
Patriots make the playoffs? The Patriots look good at the end of the year.
No.
I agree
Oh.
that they did look good. Do the Ravens make the playoffs with Lamar Jackson?
Yes.
Easily.
See, I'm saying there's only 3 of these teams
No.
that I'm in the Browns with Deshaun Watson. There's only 3 of the teams that I just named that are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to be left off.
So,
The
so
Ravens
here's-
Jacksonville
can't make it.
Jaguars are making the playoffs.
I think the 5 that so if you were to say the Bengals win their division again, the next 5 that are in: Ravens, Chiefs, Browns, Colts. If they don't win, I actually think the Colts will win. Colts or Titans, Colts/Titans, and then Dolphins.
So not Chargers.
No. The Raiders I have win, or the Chargers I have winning it.
Okay.
You have
Yeah.
3 teams from that division going
What?
from the North.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that that those two I like better than the odds of what's his name's making it the Broncos and the Raiders.
Okay.
I just don't think the Broncos and Raiders are going to make the playoffs. Dude, they're in a division where they could easily lose every single division game they have.
But so
And
could
that's
everybody in that
terrible.
division.
The Raiders could lose every single division game that they have, and it wouldn't surprise me. Or the same with the Broncos. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
And on that note, Kent's going to tell us the UFC card tonight and who he's got winning real
Yeah.
quick.
So the main card is, I mean, I don't know how many of y'all know about UFC, but the main card is 5 fights. And sorry, I had to have to pull this up so I can actually read some of the names because you'll understand in a second why.
We're chilling. While you find that, I'll do our sponsors. Pub Sports Talk, y'all are cool. Keep doing y'all's thing. Y'all are doing really good. I'm enjoying the episodes. Shout out all the listeners. Shout out everyone that goes to NC State, that listens. Y'all are cool. Shout out everyone that goes anywhere that listens. First off, let's get that out there.
Wait, shout out. Hey, if you want to stream today, well, damn, it's gonna be too late. But WrestleMania is happening today as well.
Hell yeah!
Wait, it's today?
Really?
Yeah, it's today.
WrestleMania. If you want to see Dreamville Fest and you have an Amazon Prime account, you're good to go. You don't have to leave the house, worry about the Uber, none of that. It's streaming on Amazon Prime right now.
Hell
That's
yeah.
Sick. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Ken.
All right. Main card. Fight number 5. Ian Gary versus Darian Weeks. I have not seen Darian Weeks fight before. Ian Gary is the odds-on favorite. I have seen him fight before. He's a monster. He's going to win that. The next fight is the only women's fight on the card. Mackenzie Dern versus Tishia Torres. I have no idea who's going to win that. That's like super close. Now, these are the 3 that I really want to talk about. There's 2 title fights, and then one of these fights is going to lead to a title fight. This is my favorite fight of the night: Gilbert Burns versus Khamzat. Chimaev. I can't say his last name. Anyways, I've seen both these guys fight before. Khamzat is going to be the champion one day. Kamaru Usman is known as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the UFC. Khamzat will be the one who beats him one day. And then you got Sterling versus Petr Yan. Petr Yan is not the champion. He was, but he fought Sterling in the championship and he lost to him because he kneed him in the head, which is illegal. But he was beating the crap out of Sterling. Sterling is going to lose today. He will not knee him in the head this time, and Sterling will lose today. And then the big one, the main card of the night, Volkanovsky versus the Korean Zombie. And I'm going to call him the Korean Zombie because his real name is Chon Sung Jung, which doesn't roll off the tongue quite as easily for me. But yeah, I got Volkanovsky, Petr Yan, Khamzat, and Ian Gary. I don't know about the women's fight. I haven't seen anything before about them.
Hell yeah, Kent. Hell yeah. Somebody hammer down on those picks, by the way. Parlay that shit.
All of you.
Parlay that shit.
Yeah, parlay it.
Korean Zombie.
On that note, I think we're gonna have to hop out of here. You guys have any 10-second closing remarks? Who wants to go first? Keith, you always go first.
Yeah, shout out to Pat, shout out to Triangle area. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for rolling with us. We missed y'all. We loved y'all. I love us.
All right.
Love, and we love y'all. So that's it for me. That
Hell
wasn't even 10 seconds.
All right, Cole. All right, Nancy.
Yeah, so I just want to use my 10 seconds to say I was doubted all year for my Timberwolves, and we have secured our spot in the playoffs. So, yeah. How about them apples?
Didn't you say they were a top 5 seed? No, Ron. Okay, Kent.
We were close. I said they were top 6.
I'm going to use my 10 seconds to go over my UFC parlay again. Volkanovsky, Yan, Ian Gary, and Khamzat. Khamzat, Gilbert Burns, fight of the night. Lock it up.
Take the Korean Zombie.
Caleb, glad to have you back, man.
Shit. Fuck Duke, go Heels.
It was short. That was really short.
There we go. Thank you guys so much for listening. Share this for us. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, wherever the hell you do it, Facebook, shit. Other than that, hope you guys have a good one. If you guys go anywhere before you listen to this or at any point, drive responsibly and make good decisions. We'll catch you on the next one.